All right, so here we go with California Dreaming. Beautiful collection. Amazing opportunity to work with some of our beautiful new shades here. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a mohawk section through the top of the head and clip the hair off for control. Very, very simple. Just section out based on the amount of hair that you have. You guys can do that out. Then I'm going to create a shine line on the remaining parts of the hair. So that's really kind of cool. You guys will see I'm going to use Skylight plus 40 volume. Again, the increase in developer, because this is processing in air temperature, is needed to really kind of lift through here. So it's very freehand. Working with the Skylight, I love this product because of the thickness of the product, so it stays where I put it. Basically, I'm going to be working 1 inch away from the base of the head. I'm going to follow that all the way around. Now I'm going into the top panel. I'm going to begin in the front to use a platinum card technique on the fringe. This is with Synchro Lift in 20. We're going to place that in foil. It's about 5 from scalp to ends. Once we have those 5 formulas in, I'm going to continue working through the panel behind that, but we're going to start to weave here. So it's really kind of nice. We're going from that strong fringe placement that's all going to be light and bright into a softer weave, and then we're going to get even softer when we teasy. So you guys will see it's just a basic traditional weave that I'm working with, nothing major, but I'm going to kind of start to weave those panels back. When I do that too, you'll notice I'll flip the foil just so the color changes, just to give myself a little visual that, hey, this is where we're doing something a little different. So this is, again, our Synchro Lift in 20 volume in through here. So going to keep working that back until about the high point of the head. Once we hit that high point of the head, I want it to be really, really soft up there. I'm not really looking for brightness right down to the regrowth, so we're going to switch to a nice teasy. So we create a little bit of depth at the root and a little bit of protection over those foil highlights, but it's going to be a lot softer even over that shine line in the back. The shine line on this is a nice to have. You don't notice it extremely that much, but when she moves her hair, you can see these beautiful little colors that we put in popping out through. But it's really just a really nice way to add a little bit of character to your guest's hair. You know, not every guest wants to be identified by these colors, but they all like to have some unique tones included. So we'll talk about the tones when we get to that part of the sectioning here. So again, now I'm back in that high point. I'm just gonna teasy. Now remember, the more that I push, the more hair that I remove, the softer it's gonna be and the more depth I'm gonna keep at the root. What I love about this technique, it's really up to you guys. You're the driver behind all these. So this is just a starting point, but you can really kind of make it your own based on how much you tease, how little you tease, how much you weave, how big your front section is. As far as creating that little bright panel, it's all up to you guys. So you can customize it any way you want. So now I'm just finishing up that back section, that last foil. I'm over directing it to be included. So now the whole thing is done. We got our foils, we got our teasies, everything is processed, you guys can see. Now we're gonna pre-section that panel back out. Our blonde's gonna stay in one panel, so we can work with that later. And that top mohawk section that we work back, we pre-section that out too. Now I'm gonna go back in and detail it a little bit more, just following the round of the head, creating, sectioning out that shine line I put in. And I'm gonna work with the base with our 7PA, the demi, and our processing liquid. And that's gonna give me a little bit of depth for all these colors to fall on. Again, I'm looking at color not so much as straight on, but I'm looking at it as 3-dimensional down, creating 3 parts, a top, a middle, and a bottom. So our bottom is gonna be our deepest, and that 7PA from the demi mixed with equal parts processing liquid is really gonna add some depth to the bottom here, giving us something, a framework for our lighter colors to fall on. It really works great, especially in these shorter mid-length hair cuts, you know, that have a little bit of strength to them. Stronger baseline really helps for these colors to melt together. So I'm working that all the way around the head, even through the fringe. And what I love about it is I have some pre-lightened pieces. So I'm gonna get a little bit more depth where I'm darker, and I'm still gonna create a little bit more softness where I'm lighter. So now we'll drop that next section, and we're still keeping our mohawk section sectioned out. But now I'm actually gonna work with our demi-muted metallic lavender. I'm gonna paint that from regrowth to ends. So that's my first section. And I'm gonna subdivide, and this is kind of very freehand. You guys will be able to work with it as you want, but I'm gonna subdivide here. And now I'm gonna apply that same muted metallic lavender color through the regrowth. And then I'm gonna work with my Pop XG yellow and my Pop XG flamenco pink. I'm gonna create a little bit of shine line in there with those two colors. And then I'm gonna work again with our demi-muted metallic lavender on the ends. Again, really not creating something that's gonna overpower our color here, but I really want to create some fun little tones that live in the middle, so when she moves her hair, those colors kind of get exposed and really do what they're supposed to. That's what a shine line does. So now I'm just kind of working again, very visual, placing that foil on top versus folding so those colors don't mesh together. And then my next section, I'm going scalp to ends with our muted metallic demi lavender color. That's gonna Pop XG. So get creative with this. Again, just really think about why you're placing the colors where you're placing and what's gonna look like when it's done, and it's quite simple. So now that all these sections are done around my baseline, around my bottom, now I'm gonna work on the top section. The first thing I'm gonna do is drop that platinum card that we did, and we're gonna work with our demi muted metallic rose gold in our first section, and then we're gonna subdivide right in the middle, and we're gonna actually work with our muted metallic silver in the middle there. And that's really such a beautiful color. We're gonna place that foil behind it and then remove the foil and just drop it so it processes. Now working in our back section, in our whole top crown, we're gonna work with our demi muted metallic rose gold through the top. Beautiful shade. And again, we have that variance that we placed in with our teasy, with our weave. And again, in our front little platinum card, we have all three blonding techniques really kind of incorporated through this mohawk section. That's gonna really kind of come together and give us protection from the teasy at the regrowth that we want, more blending from our muted metallic rose gold. We're gonna get some blending where we weaved, and then we're gonna get some strength where we platinum carded. So all three of those blonding techniques come together to create a beautiful end result on a beautiful haircut by Lucas Donnie. Another great thing about this, 20 minutes to process, and we are done. We gotta start looking at toning a little bit differently as we evolve. Sometimes it takes a little bit of an extra step, but you guys can see the end result that you get. You get a lot more dimension, a lot more movement, a lot more opportunity when you guys dry the hair and tone a little bit differently than we normally do versus one color back at the sink. Hope you guys enjoy this, California Dreaming, brand new demi muted metallics, and working with our beautiful blonding system to create this look. Thanks.